Before we go into classifying the patient, case presentation, and treatment planning, we need to talk about whether your soft tissue management is a high production appointment. As I've traveled the country and met different hygienists, I have found a wide variety of profitability or lack of it when it comes to soft tissue management treatment. All hygienists agree that soft tissue management treatment can be fun and rewarding, but it's a lot of work presenting it, closing it, and educating the patient about the infection, and then can be very taxing getting that patient's mouth clean depending on calculus load. The other common denominator I have found with all hygienists is that very few hygienists know if they're even making the practice money or costing it. Many are surprised that soft tissue management treatment can be costing the practice money, and that it would be better for the practice to see more patients for prophies than STM. Good news is, when you learn efficient treatment planning and use time-saving tools and procedures, soft tissue management can be profitable and should be. Remember, all we should do should be a win for the patient, proper treatment for the infection, a win for the provider, make sure you have the appointments you need so you don't skip corners or burn out, and a win for the practice. Make sure soft tissue management isn't costing the practice money. So let's do some simple math to envision what can go wrong with the profitability of soft tissue management. A typical 60-minute continuing care appointment with some simple round number fees might include a periodic evaluation at $80, and 1110 prophy maybe $100. 4 bite wings at $75, that equals out to $255 in production for that hour. Now let's look at a 1 hour appointment where one quadrant is charged out, let's say $280, the fee for STM. The fee for STM appointment is $25 more, but if the prophy appointment, let's say, added a $40 fluoride treatment, which I hope is 80% of them do, it would be more profitable by $15. If it also had a full mouth series in it as well, it would be $160 more profitable than one quadrant. Now these are gross numbers, and you probably want to do some simple math on some of your better paying insurances versus your poorer paying insurances. Hopefully your write-offs aren't worse for perio than preventive, but it's worth checking. I have included a free form you can plug in your own numbers into, including my own examples. So let's ask ourselves, if STM is the right treatment for the patient that has infection but requires much more work and time, shouldn't it be higher production? Shouldn't it be more profitable? Much higher, of course it should, but how? The number one way to become more profitable is to watch your time. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States, wrote, quote, "Remember that time is money," meaning that in order to earn money, one must act and therefore use one's time, which is not infinite. I often say, once today's opportunity for production is gone, it's gone. So how can we become faster at soft tissue management treatment? Here are 4 steps for you. Step 1, know your speed per procedure. Do a time and motion study often. Whether you're a dentist or hygienist, you should always be doing a time and motion study to constantly improve your speed. How long does it take you to scale a typical prophy, a gingivitis patient, a class 1 or 2, etc.? Dentists, how long for you to do a 1-surface filling, a 2-surface, a crown, a root canal treatment? When things are new, we are slower, but as we get better at them, we will become faster at the procedure. We have a free downloadable form that has an example of how to break down every procedure doctors and hygienists do, plus a blank one for you to copy and fill in for yourselves. Everyone is different, so just fill it out as your office does things. Doctors do not do this alone. Include your assistants to keep you honest and your scheduling coordinators. Step 2, do not build value by taking longer. I am amazed at the hygiene departments that assume that you have to keep your patients in the chair longer to seem valuable. Not to mention, make sure you value the patient's time as much as you value yours. Build value by helping them get well as fast as possible and educate them on what you're doing while you're doing it. Constantly remind them what you are doing and what they need to do so they value both your efforts and theirs at home. Step 3, add new tools and materials. Years ago, I remember root canal treatments taking several appointments. Now with new innovative tools, dentists can complete a root canal in 1 appointment. With some new tools and materials, we might initially be slower until it becomes a new normal. Then we will become much faster. This brings me to the question, why are hygienists still taking 1 hour for a quadrant today when I could do it by hand back in dental hygiene school in 1990 at an hour? I had this hockey stick of an ultrasonic tip. No isolite, no assistant. Now, before hygienists get upset at me, let me admit that calculus load is different in all patients and should be taken into consideration with every patient by the hygienist that will be performing the scaling and root planing. But every hygienist should be very aware of the profitability or lack of it when she is providing SRP. So be educated on all things possible to save time in soft tissue management treatment. Obviously, as equipment goes, an ultrasonic or piezo scaler is much faster than hand scaling. So use them 80% of the time and hand scale 20% of the time. That's the standard of care. Also, I love assisted hygiene for many reasons, and I talk about that in our assisted hygiene course. But this is a big one. I can scale and root plane so much faster with an assistant, a concept any dentist will understand. An assistant easily pays for herself if I can do more than a quad in an hour. Step 4, treatment plan and code effectively and efficiently. Our next class will lay this out for you. Our goals in dentistry are to provide oral health education and service while providing ourselves with a good living. To do both, you constantly need to evaluate both. As you try and reach your daily production goals, think of your daily opportunity cost, meaning capitalizing on your time because it is a valuable resource. That's it, guys. Be sure and continue on to our next course on treatment planning so I can help you make your peri appointments a win-win-win.